We made it to nationals, and that was amazing because we were one of the best, I think at the time it was 4 teams. It was a round robin, actually. So it was the best 4 teams in the whole nation. And so we thought we were just the next best thing since sliced bread. And I think that playing in that tournament, we made it to nationals, and that was amazing because we were one of the best, I think at the time it was 4 teams. It was a round robin, actually. So it was the best 4 teams in the whole nation. And so we thought we were just the next best thing since sliced bread. And I think that playing in that tournament was so surreal because you played against other club teams that were so good and at the same level as you that you don't necessarily always get the chance or opportunity to play against, which was so great for us because we were like, wow, these girls are like just as good as us, if not better, and we have to compete at the highest level and play these 3 games, or at that, it was a round robin, so we played the 4. But still, that just reminds me of how competitive I was and my teammates were at that age, which also I think helped me get to the next level. And being that competitive at the club level, has only helped me, continue to grow and my competitive spirit and level that I'm playing at right now.
The national championships was really, really special. I think that was like the biggest thing I had really won, and that's kind of for youth soccer growing up, that was kind of the ultimate prize. And I think we were always super ambitious in achieving that and to have that happen. And I think what's so special about youth soccer is that it's really your family. The girls that you grow up with become like your sisters, and you do everything. And there's just like such a strong camaraderie there. So to play with a team that you've played for a while with, and with these girls, it's a very special feeling to win something like that.
Those were really great moments because at such a young age, I feel like I was competing for something and really working hard to, perform for my team. And it was no longer just about, whatever the result is the result. I mean, at the end of the day, you win some, you lose some. But that was probably the moments that I was like, whoa, we got to win. We got a state championship on our hands that we could actually bring home. And I think those are really cool moments because, you remember a lot of the times that you win. You try to remember the losses as well because you do learn from them. But at the same time, you want to remember the wins that you have. So state championships were definitely a really important part of my memory.
Sometimes you can play with the best player. To play against the best players is where you get better. My team went to the national championship one time. Unfortunately, we didn't win, but it was just an amazing experience to feel like, and I'm from a small town, so to feel like you were competing against the best in the country is something that I'll always remember.
Our state cup was fun. My team was very competitive. I mean, we had a lot of competition as well, but I can't remember how many we won. Maybe 9, I think, is what we counted with our team, which made it so much fun. That was always like the big goal at the end is win state cup, go to regionals, and go to nationals. And we always fell short going to nationals, which still hurts today to even talk about. But I had so much fun in those tournaments, and my team made it even 10 times better to be a part of.
I get to play now in front of huge crowds and with all this spotlight and attention, and I don't think I'll ever have that feeling that I did going through my U14 national championship. I remember winning state cup. I can tell you how I scored, what the score was. I remember going to Hawaii. That was our regionals, Region 4, and I remember that national championship. And I think that it stays with me so much because it was about camaraderie. It was about growing and learning who you were and making these lifelong bonds.
What is it that defines us? A collection of moments that develop into a memory. Each day, each hour, each second. Our minds let go of 1,000 things a day. Dates of wars and deaths of kings. The tears that dry and the pain that fades. What really is a memory? the immortal thought that makes an ever-changing moment unchangeable. What you make of those moments determines if they are ingrained in you or lost forever. Your memories take the lessons from your journey and turn them into a roadmap for your future. For what is each person's course except a series of choices between the right way and the easy way? Those choices will contribute to the voice in the back of your head that tells you to go further and push harder. The voice that reminds you of the pain of coming up short, or that your time at the top is fleeting. Dedication ensures that when your time comes and you are called to play, that moment will be imprinted on your memory forever. In the years to come, will you look back and wish you had done something differently? Or will you know that you left it all on the field, giving everything you had and everything that you are? This is your moment. How will you remember it?
Today's game is brought to you by Nike, the official supplier of U.S. Youth Soccer. Bubba Burger, the official family fun burger. Kohl's, the official department store of U.S. Youth Soccer. The National Mango Board, an official snack of U.S. Youth Soccer. MLS, the official grassroots partner of U.S. Youth Soccer. And Nestle Nesquik, the official post-game drink. find a little bit of space, stepping on it, rolling it, and Bynum gives it away in the end. Quick counterattack. Trying to push it up for Lopez. Going to take it towards the corner flag and then cut it back. Flores. Closed down quickly, takes a shot, just rolled in on goal, and that's an easy stop for the first touch of the day for the goalkeeper. Once again, welcome into this Turbo Sports production of the USYS 2016 National Championships. Todd Panula along with you here this morning. And whether you're watching on the East Coast, West Coast, or all points in between, we appreciate you watching. It's a clear day with temperatures in the 80s right now. It's fairly comfortable with a nice breeze, but as that sun that you see right in your screen gets up into the sky a little bit higher, the temperatures are going to begin to soar. The actual temperature of the day is only supposed to be a high of 93, but as we've seen throughout the week, as this one is called offside, actual temperatures mean very little, as we've had heat indices of well into the triple digits. So FC Golden State, they finished top of Group A with a record of 2-0-1. Arlington Impact got in with a win and 2 ties, 1-0-2, and they were second in Group B. Semifinal matchup. FC Golden State trying to put it up. Flag stays down here. Looked like it was a little bit close to coming back from an onside position, but here's Taylor. Cutting left and right. Now onto the sideline. Acosta. Into the box. Rue has a chance. Puts it towards goal. Nobody on the back door. Both teams trying their luck right now with some long balls up the wings and then trying to cut inside. Both sides have had a chance on goal, although you'd have to say that the better one came from the impact. Now here's a good ball up the left-hand side. Numbers not in favor of Arlington. Had a bit of a cheap foul given up there, probably unnecessary. Cortez will play it out from the back. Looking for options, and he's just going to roll it out to the center back. Up the near sideline, not quite on the same page as Estrada. Hadn't made the run. Taken in the corner now by Sanchez, and it's going to be a corner kick. Angel Estrada will take the corner kick. He's going to take a right footer, so it'll swing in towards goal. He's got options short. Got to put it in. Headed away by the defender. Ennis boots it upfield. Fields to Estrada. Deflected a couple times. Field a little bit slick here the early going, but the officials saw a little bit too much in that one. Chipped over the top. Now going the other direction. Fields. Near sideline for Lopez. Cuts it back in. Aravallo. Pass went astray. Chipped into the box, but with no real purpose. Put back into play quickly. They come up through the gut. Here comes the impact. Trying to make an impact on this game. Sent in towards the penalty spot. Flick near side. Shot taken. Good chance from Taylor, and he'll win a corner. First corner of the game for Arlington Impact. Charles Taylor going to take it. Answering with a right-footed outswinger of their own. They go back post. High up into the air. Cortez has to just kind of punch it as there was a player that kind of shielded him away. Here's Taylor looking for options again. More central. And an easy save for Cortez in the end. It was a good ball and a good strike at it. But due to the pace of the cross, it was very difficult to get the foot and knee over the top. Lopez held up a little bit. Referee doesn't see anything in it. Now Taylor's in charge of it, plays it off the defender, and he'll win a throw. Johnson has to chase it down. The wind got just a little bit of a hold of it. They'll try to set it up. Here's Damiani. Going for Taylor. Pinned in along the sideline, looking for a little bit of space. Taylor to Damiani. That's knocked away. That was actually a Rojas good bowl to get the last touch. Up towards the forward line, knocked away. Stolen by Acosta. Taken right back, Lopez. Filtered through Salah. As they try up the far sideline. Padron. Looking for a little bit of space, trying to chip that one up. Blasted out. Still kind of in that feeling out stage. Both teams have had a little bit of an opportunity. Over the head of Flores. Now Lopez. Estrada to Flores. Lopez has his legs taken out. Very dangerous challenge. Going back post. Oh, that ended up much closer than it looked. Sanchez able to get a piece on it. It ended up comfortably wide. Taylor flicks it on. Not quite where he intended it. Lopez tried to touch it down, gets it back. And then his pass through the middle field goes awry. Here comes Fleischer. And that was knocked away. Hard ball over here to the near side. Nicely touched down. And apparently we're going to restart it again. Up through the midfield. Damiani took a little bit of a spill. Rojas Goodbold was calling for it, but they go wing side anyway. Slipping it up the left-hand side. Looking for a little bit of space and closed down. Blasted upfield by Salah. That was actually Flores. Coming near side. Up the wing. Estrada. Sandwich between two defenders. Gets it back. Estrada. Kick save. Flores. Back into the mixer. Left footer. Not a bad choice there. Coming from Nicol Goshen. Try to chip one over the top. Bit of a foot race here. Arevalo. And the foul given. So it'll be a free kick for the Impact. Lacing one up the sideline. Here come the Impact. Laying one in towards the penalty spot. There were two players there and it managed to split both of them. Now Lopez looking to pick up some speed of his own. Taking on the defender one-on-one. A nice ball through. Coming in towards the box. Just slipping by Granadas. So an excellent opportunity. As FC Golden State had a beautiful ball through, but it just slipped by Jesus Granadas. Rojas Goodbold got a piece of that one. Taylor comes over towards the near sideline. Little touch, take it away. Arevalo had his pocket picked in return. Pulling and grabbing. No harm, no foul. And it'll be a throw for the Impact. Up the line. Fleischer takes a spill. Goal kick. Cortez will put it back into play. High in the air. I believe that was intended to go to Granadas. Good work from Flores. Stepped into. Winning the throw. Rojas Goodbold plays it up the line. Not quite far enough. Coming back the other way. Counter could be on. Rojas Goodbold coming back from that midfield spot. Able to get just a bit of a touch onto that one to keep it out of danger. Garcia. And that's been kind of the MO of this game so far. A lot of decent pushes upfield, but in the end, they kind of peter out. In for Sanchez. Looking to go corner, but the defender walled him off. And we'll have a goal kick. Missing on the header the first time, and then tracked down Bynum. Quickly in, knocked down, we'll do it again. Damiani. Very little flow to the game right now, as it's just kind of trying to see what's available. Miscues. Some of these players perhaps stayed in bed. Not on for Rojas. Good bold, and off the other way we go. Flores. Looking over to the other side for Sanchez. Couldn't be run onto. Lopez into the box. Return pass for no good reason. Would have been wiser to try to take a shot right there, but trying to catch the defenders unaware. Flores looking to slide one through. Goes across the box, left-footed shot, they score! Something out of nothing, and it's 1-0 in favor of FC Golden State. What a strike from Oscar Nikogoshian. So early in the match, in the semi-final game between FC Golden State and Arlington Impact, the Golden State represented well. Trying to catch the defenders unaware. Puts one in the 21st minute. Flores looking to slide one through. Goes across the box, left-footed shot, they score! Something out of nothing, and it's 1-0 in favor. Lopez pops up into the air. Sanchez. Now Lopez again after it was touched quickly by Granadas. Looking for more. Granadas. Just under the boot. Impact trying to counter. Too far for Fleischer. Estrada. And back to Cortez. Garcia lays it upfield. Wasn't even on the same chapter there. It's a very little opportunity for Hayden Kickenbush to make a save on that fantastic goal. It was low and it was right on the post. Kickenbush covered about all the ground he was going to be able to. And it still went in, which shows you the quality of that shot. Free kick given. From about 30 yards out, 35 maybe. Arlington looking to put their own stamp on this game. In towards the penalty spot. Too tall for Rojas Goodbold. Now, are they going to ask a few questions? Oh, Lopez, what a spin. Looking up, got plenty of green. Sliding one through, running onto it. Granadas pushed off the ball just enough. Crossing it over the far sideline. Golden State still looking for some opportunities. And that'll be a corner kick. Going to be a left footer, swinging in towards the goal. Lopez making a move, does so again, goes over the top of him, and eventually claimed by Kickenbush because that was a dangerous spill. It fell almost right to the feet of two Golden State players. The Impact looking for some sort of space. They had created a few opportunities in the early moments of the game, but the noose has tightened. Free kick given. Not into the book yet, but that may be the last warning they get from the far sideline, as it looked like Gaetan Rue. Muscled off the ball as Bynum wins it back, and then it's given up by Rowe. Switching the point of the attack. They tried to go center. Knocked down. Now near sideline. Estrada. Granadas. Wants to go Estrada again. Instead put it in towards the area. And again, the field giving way. The grass fairly low cut. So any kind of give, the turf comes up with him. Here's Lopez putting on the brakes. Cuts it back inside. Laying it off. Right. El Ravello. For Sanchez. Sanchez, look at the wheels. That was dangerous. But the pass just a bit too quick. Flores was there, but he stuck out the left leg and couldn't do too much more with it. A little over halfway through the first half. 1-0 is your score. And a 21st minute goal from Oscar Nikogoshian. Now the Impact starting to build the play a little bit. Rojas Goodbold's pass wasn't quite where he wanted. As Taylor is taking up a spot over on the left as they try to kind of figure out their formation to try to crack this FC Golden State defense. Substitution going to come in fairly early in this game. It's going to be made by Arlington Impact, a couple of them actually. Into the game for the Impact, Nathan Johnson. That'll be it for right now. Now Taylor slides one through. That defender was there. Well read. Again, seeking something on the far sideline. Seems like Arlington has tried to go up the left-hand side quite a bit during this match so far, whereas FC Golden State has been a little bit more on their left side as well, but utilizing much more of the entire field. One touch passing through the midfield, trying to chip over the top of the defenders. Flag goes up. Wouldn't have mattered one way or the other as it was safely into the arms of the goalkeeper, but offside nevertheless. Coming into the game now for Arlington will be William McCreary. He takes the place of Chris Fleischer, so he'll play kind of a wing-type role in an attacking mode. And also coming in for FC Golden State is Manuel Chavez. Taylor coming all the way back to receive that one, but they're going to have to build it out of the back. Acosta. Intended that one for Johnson, not quite there. Acosta again. Johnson gets his first touch, as does McCreary. Acosta. Dispossessed. Out for the throw. All the good fortune right now going FC Golden State's way, as that one looked like it was heading out for an impact throw, and instead it went off of Acosta in return. Now here's Taylor, who's taking up more of a central role now with the substitute. Looking for a little bit of space. Trying to chip one over the top. Able to be settled down. Rowe. Taylor had made the run. They couldn't quite spot him. They intended it to go to him, but the touch was just a bit too heavy. Here is the aforementioned Taylor. Sliding one through. Bynum to the end line. Cuts it back in. Slots it. Too many white jerseys. He was trying to go back to the penalty spot, and that's kind of what you're taught. That's good fundamental soccer. You get to the end line, you want to try to put it back towards that 12-yard penalty spot, but unfortunately for him, it was the wrong color kit. Building it up again as the Impact have looked much better here in the last few minutes. Taylor trying it again, this time from the left, as he's been fairly amorphous. Just kind of flowing wherever the game goes and wherever he needs to be. Chipping it back. Again, the defenders closed down. Offside the call. I always find it interesting to see how often that gets called, because either the passer or the player who had sent it back become unaware. And it seems like a good 60 to 75% of the time, whether it's through the flow of play or off of set pieces like that, the flag seems to go up because the initial player stays in an offside position. Flag down here as Granados chases it down towards the flag. He's got numbers joining him. What's he going to do with it? Wiggling that foot around, he goes in line, takes it back out front. A little too far behind, didn't set up the shot. Lopez with a low drive and no volley. Fantastic offensive football here. FC Golden State, once they get towards that 18-yard area, it's almost a clinic. They are keeping Arlington on their toes. Only lead by 1, though, so it's anybody's game right now. In towards the box, and that'll be easily for Kickbush. Acosta. McCreary. Up the line. Nicely weighted ball. McCreary again. Has to peel back outside, just pinning them along the sideline almost every single time. And again, winning a throw-in is FC Golden State. More subs coming in, 2 for Arlington. Into the game for the Impact, Samsudeen Salah. The rest of the substitutes will be made later. I had mentioned Salah's name a couple times earlier in the game, and I apologize for that. It was intended to be Flores for FC Golden State. Just started looking at the wrong roster at the wrong time. Popping one over the top. Waiting for it was Sanchez, and he was able to settle it down. Sanchez from the center. Oh, off the crossbar. What a dipping shot. It looked like it was earmarked for over the goal, and it ended up just dying at the last second, but off the woodwork. A fantastic shot by Eduardo Sanchez. He got the topspin on it that he wanted, but not the end result. Into the game now for Arlington comes Harrison Palma. FC Golden State makes a swap as Ronaldo Lomeli comes into the game. Also in for Arlington is Christoph Gerlach. Subs coming left and right now as these teams try to keep their legs fresh for the all-important second half of this semifinal matchup. '36th minute. 1-0 is the score. FC Golden State on top out of Pasadena. Arlington Impact from Arlington, Virginia, not Texas. Slipped up through the middle. And then Bynum goes back outside. Strong run here. Decent ball, but again, just too many defenders. Only 3 attackers in the 18 for Arlington, and a good 5 defenders, if not 6, for FC Golden State. And when you're outnumbered 2-1, things aren't normally going to go your way. But Arlington's been building something very slowly, very methodically. But right now they have to be wary of these counterattacks because they've almost given up that second goal, which would make it very, very difficult for them to come back. Held on to by Lomeli, up the sideline, stays in. Well read by the assistant referee, and then Lopez chopped down from behind. Nothing further from the official, though, as Johnson just kind of walks away. Coming in now for Arlington will be Fred Thompson. And a sub for FC Golden State as Johan Aguirre comes in. Apparently we will wait until after the free kick for those subs. Granada's upset that nobody made the run. He was playing that in, not necessarily as a shot, it seems, as he was directing traffic after the fact. Kick Bush puts it back into play off the punt, takes a high bounce, but that's again well read by the defenders. Hodges was able to clear it out though, and now Arlington will push the reset button. Palma to Bynum. Palma making the run. That's where he intended it to go, but again, just surrounded by FC Golden State players, and that will go out. And Aguirre comes in, as well as Brian Robinson. Thompson came in as well, as I had mentioned before. Thompson trying to get a little flick on it. He's in a duel there. Lomeli comes out with it initially, and then it's just punched up the field. Lopez trying to track it. And it'll come all the way back, as offside was the call. Trying a long ball over the top. That came way too early. The run was being made by Palma, so it was a good idea, but he needed to wait at least 1 or 2 more seconds before sending that, because he was probably only 8 yards away from the kicker when it was taken. Now Chavez trying to go over the top. Offside is the call. Interesting decision there, as Granados was the one in the offside position, but he had pulled up, so he wasn't necessarily making a play for the ball. A bit of an early call. Obviously, you may be able to hear some of the FC Golden State coaching staff. They're not very happy with that, and understandably so. It's the right call in terms of the assumption from the AR that the player was making a play on the ball, and once you decide that that is the case, you are to put the flag up, but sometimes it's better to wait, because a single movement towards the ball does not necessarily instigate a play on the ball. It's kind of technical, but being an official myself, it's oftentimes kind of a gray area, because that's a call that you put the flag up, you understand why, and it's within the letter of the law, but you could also fully explain why somebody would not put the flag up in that same instance. Trying to go to the corner flag for Thompson. He's got some wheels, but he won't catch up to this one, and it's actually held into play by Golden State. Almost a miscue there. Put onto the foot of Gerlach as he puts one into the middle, and they should have just let that run because the touch put it behind. A collision. Lopez slipped, so he couldn't pick it up. Back through the center circle as they try to cross the midline. Have to come all the way back. Fantastic pressure here from FC Golden State as they come away with it again. Chavez looking for a little bit of space as he came all the way from center. Just kind of blindly put up towards the forward line, but Lopez comes down with it. Now they go near side for Granada, and that won't make it all the way through. Picked up by Johnson. Bailed out a little bit with the call, as it was somewhat unnecessary for Granadas to trip up the defender in that kind of position. Johnson, even with his good height, got pushed around a little bit as Garcia came up and nodded it away. Far sideline, too strong there for Palma. FC Golden State already up by a goal, trying to build something of their own. Since they've scored, they've had a good couple opportunities, including a fantastic shot from Eduardo Sanchez that just wouldn't dip quite enough. It hit the woodwork, the crossbar flush, and spilled back out. But other than that, Arlington's had a good 10, 15 minutes or so where they've been pushing upfield. They just can't seem to find that final ball. There's just too many defenders in white right now. They're keeping 3 at the back constantly, with the weak side wing back free to push up the field a little bit. Right now they've got the flat back 4, as is typical in today's game, but also 2 defensive midfielders that come back and help. And they've done that to good effect. Snapped over to the far sideline as Thompson sent it up the wing now. Thompson was taking his spot up in the center, and we're going to have a free kick. Are we going to have more? We are. It's going to be a yellow card. Lamelli goes into the book. So in the 45th minute, our first yellow card of the game handed out. So a chance for Arlington to poach one before halftime. No signal of any extra stoppage time to be added on yet. Trying to go back post for it. Handled by the defender, at least initially. Hodges. Great work from the back. He's able to send it out of danger. Maybe springing a counterattack here. Lamelli. Into the box. What a swing if they could have put one in there. But Lamelli still manages to win the corner. So 1 minute of stoppage time going to be added on to the end of this half. Left-footed in swinger, not towards the near post, and they score! Nobody got a piece of it. It looks like it's going to be Lopez. "2-0 is your score, as the stoppage time goal has doubled up the lead for FC Golden State. Lopez putting it in. And that will do it. Halftime has come, 45 minutes in the books. And we have a 2-0 score in favor of the team out of Pasadena, California. Arlington Impact with it all to do in the second half. And they are going to be behind the 8 ball from the get-go. We'll take a quick break for these messages. When we come back, we'll have your second half of action between FC Golden State and Arlington Impact. Back with more on Turbo Sports after this.
We made it to nationals, and that was amazing because we were one of the best, I think at the time was of 4 teams. It was a round robin, actually. So it was the best 4 teams in the whole nation. And so we thought we were just the next best thing since sliced bread. And I think that playing in that tournament was so surreal because you played against other club teams that were so good and at the same level as you that you know don't necessarily always get the chance or opportunity to play against, which was so great for us because we were like, wow, these girls are like just as good as us, if not better, and we have to compete at the highest level and play these 3 games, or at that, it was a round robin, so we played the 4. But still, that just reminds me of how competitive I was and my teammates were at that age, which also I think helped me get to the next level. And being that competitive at the club level, has only helped me, continue to grow my competitive spirit and level that I'm playing at right now.
The national championships was really, really special. I think that was like the biggest thing I had really won, and that's kind of for youth soccer growing up, that was kind of the ultimate prize. And I think we were always super ambitious in achieving that and to have that happen. And I think what's so special about youth soccer is that it's really your family. The girls that you grow up with become like your sisters, and you do everything. And there's just like such a strong camaraderie there. So to play with a team that you've played for a while with, and with these girls, it's a very special feeling to win something like that.
Those were really great moments because at such a young age, I feel like I was competing for something and really working hard to, perform for my team. And it was no longer just about, whatever the result is the result. I mean, at the end of the day, you win some, you lose some. But that was probably the moments that I was like, whoa, we got to win. We got a state championship on our hands that we could actually bring home. And I think those are really cool moments because, you remember a lot of the times that you win. You try to remember the losses as well because you do learn from them. But at the same time, you want to remember the wins that you have. So state championships were definitely a really important part of my memory.
Sometimes you can play with the best players. To play against the best players is where you get better. My team went to the national championship one time. Unfortunately, we didn't win, but it was just an amazing experience to feel like, and I'm from a small town, so to feel like you were competing against the best in the country is something that I'll always remember.
Our state cup was fun. My team was very competitive. I mean, we had a lot of competition as well, but I can't remember how many we won. Maybe 9, I think, is what we counted with our team, which made it so much fun. That was always like the big goal at the end is win state cup, go to regionals, and go to nationals. And we always fell short going to nationals, which still hurts today to even talk about. But I had so much fun in those tournaments, and my team made it even 10 times better to be a part of.
I get to play now in front of huge crowds and with all this spotlight and attention, and I don't think I'll ever have that feeling that I did going through my U14 national championship. I remember winning state cup. I can tell you how I scored, what the score was. I remember going to Hawaii. That was our regionals, Region 4, and I remember that national championship. And I think that it stays with me so much because it was about camaraderie. It was about growing and learning who you were and making these lifelong bonds.
What is it that defines us? A collection of moments that develop into a memory. Each day, each hour, each second. Our minds let go of 1,000 things a day. Dates of wars and deaths of kings. The tears that dry and the pain that fades. What really is a memory? The immortal thought that makes an ever-changing moment unchangeable. What you make of those moments determines if they are ingrained in you or lost forever. Your memories take the lessons from your journey and turn them into a roadmap for your future. For what is each person's course except a series of choices between the right way and the easy way? Those choices will contribute to the voice in the back of your head that tells you to go further and push harder. The voice that reminds you of the pain of coming up short, or that your time at the top is fleeting. Dedication ensures that when your time comes and you are called to play, that moment will be imprinted on your memory forever. In the years to come, will you look back and wish you had done something differently? Or will you know that you left it all on the field, giving everything you had and everything that you are? This is your moment. How will you remember it?
Today's game is brought to you by Nike, the official supplier of U.S. Youth Soccer. Bubba Burger, the official family fun burger. Kohl's, the official department store of U.S. Youth Soccer. The National Mango Board, an official snack of U.S. Youth Soccer. MLS, the official grassroots partner of U.S. Youth Soccer. And Nestle Nesquik, the official post-game drink. Today's game is brought to you by the Positive Coaching Alliance and Toyota, the official automobile of U.S. Youth Soccer. Wilson Trophy Company, the official awards, medals, and pins supplier. The National Soccer Coaches Association of America, an official sponsor of U.S. Youth Soccer. Liberty Mutual Insurance, the official auto, home, life, and workers' compensation insurance. And Turbo Sports Group, the official video streaming production company of U.S. Youth Soccer webcasts. Hello and welcome back to Frisco, Texas, site of the 2016 U.S. Youth Soccer National Championships, brought to you by Turbo Sports Group. Todd Fanula along with you here as we're just about set for second half action in this U18 boys semifinal. The winner obviously going to the championship, which will be tomorrow morning, and the loser unfortunately will have to pack their bags and head home. The officials are just about ready. The flags have been unfurled. Everybody is set. So we will get things started. So we're underway here in the second half. And the message for both teams early in this second half was to try to get that first one. Obviously, if the goal can be had by Arlington, they're right back into the game, especially if they get an early one. And I think that that has to be the game plan. You don't necessarily want to just throw caution to the wind, but you also need to come up with something. So they need to get one early, because even when they had pushes up the field, they never seemed to manage to create something that was actually going to trouble Cortez too much. So they need to find something early here to get back into the game. Otherwise, this one is likely to slip away. And on the flip side of that, if Golden State can get an early one, then they have really taken command, as though they are not already. It's coming here to the right-hand side for Silverman as he pushes his way up past the defender, trying to take it up towards the byline. Sent back, and he'll win himself a throw. Impact able to steal it back, but not for long as it's bombed out. An opportunity towards goal here, but all for naught. Now the counter could be on. FC Golden State working it up the left-hand side, trying to send one back in front, cutting it back towards the middle. Well defended. And a yellow card is going to come out. At least it would appear so. So the yellow card goes to Eduardo Sanchez. Interesting decision, as it seemed like he was just kind of lunging for possession of the ball. But the official had a different viewpoint on it. He saw a little more in it. So 2 players in the book. Both of them for FC Golden State. Back in the 27th minute, it was Ronaldo Lomalai. And now in the 49th minute overall, it goes to Sanchez. Try to send it up the wing, and FC Golden State takes it right back. Back and forth they go as Damiani able to pick the pocket of the striker. Set far wing by Johnson. Looking for a little bit of space here. Arlington Impact needing a goal just to cut the lead in half. Here's Damiani. Now to the near hand side. Served in by Campbell. The wind may have caught just a little bit of that one. And it goes up and over the protective netting. got an injury just outside the box on the far side. Didn't get a good view on who it was, but Coach Cabral for FC Golden State said that he thought it was a rolled ankle. So a substitute will be made. Estrada will come in. So Garcia, his day is done. Unfortunately, a rolled ankle ended his day. But his team is already up by a goal, or two, I should say. Campbell puts it in and then gets it back. Let run through by Damiani. Played back. That's touched by Gerlach. Now Johnson gives it up. Up the field by Palma. The return pass not quite there. Taylor had to come back. That was actually Thompson. Stepped into nicely. Taylor spun around, but gets it to Damiani. Further back. Up the field by Gerlach. He tried the right-hand side. Not quite over there for Palma. But it's into touch. 2-0 your score here in the second half. Both goals came in the first. A 21st minute goal by Nikogoshian. And then a stoppage time goal for Lopez. Tried to pop one over the top. The striker was walled off. Sala tried to chase it down in the end. But Cortez just playing with them just a little bit. It's a little bit early for that kind of gamesmanship, but when you're up by 2 goals, you can understand it. Pushing hard up the field is Johnson. Looking for a little bit of space. None to be had as that is taken away nicely. Off the other way. Here comes FC Golden State looking for number 3. Pushing it up. Sanchez in towards the 18. And nothing to do for Palma but send it away. We're going to have another substitute early on here in the second half. As Arlington Impact making some changes, trying to find that right mixture that's going to get them something. Coming out is Christoph Gerlach. And in is Chris Fleischer. The sun climbing higher into the air. The temperature's still very tolerable right now due to the fact that the wind is fairly stiff. It is going right to left and away from your TV screen, so corner flag to corner flag. Somewhat of a wasted opportunity in the end as that goes out for a goal kick. Put back into play by kick push. And we'll put it back in, this time off the throw from the far sideline. Palma looking for options. The team in blue trying to move around, give them teammates a little bit of help. Checking back. Now set up the line, though. Intended for Campbell, and he's able to slow it down. Now here is Taylor. Taylor kind of putting his arms out like, what's everybody's plan right here? Now he'll go up the wing. Cuts it back away from the defender nicely. Slips one through. Fleischer tried to play it off the defender. Couldn't get enough on it to get the corner. The flick. And that ends up comfortably wide in the end. Back into play. It's FC Golden State. Just tries to lob it upfield. Taylor, what a touch. A little too strong, just a foot or so extra from Fleischer. Johnson trying to get the throw in. Lameli a little bit upset. Understandably so. Anytime you hit the pitch with that kind of force, you're going to be frustrated, to say the least. But in all honesty, Campbell had won the ball very cleanly. Now here's Damiani. And Arlington putting themselves in positions that aren't necessarily very advantageous to their purpose. And that's causing them to have to dive into balls, which is going to put them in dangerous situations. You don't want to put yourself down a man when you're already down by 2 goals. Damiani, not from behind by any means, but that challenge that he made just moments ago from the side, and if you don't get the ball, you're putting yourself in a position where you're asking the referee to call something. Slipped through, though, by Estrada. Now Sanchez looking for something. Instead sends it back. Chavez puts a right foot into it. Bouncer. Kicking Bush got his body behind it. Plodding up the field very slowly, and then losing possession here on the near side as it wasn't quite on for Campbell. Sanchez. Lameli calling for the return ball. They find him, beautifully weighted. He sends one back across, but that one didn't have quite enough on it. Lameli with good pressure. It will go out. Tried to get it up for Thompson. Guarded closely by Hodges. Slid through. Fleischer picking up a bit of speed. Goes wide. Sent to the back post. Too strong. Just too strong. Touched over here to the near side. Trying to wall it off with Granadas. Instead it's Campbell. Playing it right into Granadas. Dancing around like a salsa. Put it across. The defender dealt with it. Now in a dangerous area. Salah shoots. Up and over. He got into a decent position, but it was going to be a little bit of a tough angle the way that he was going. Difficult to shoot away from the keeper. And he ended up going over the target. Lamele calling for it. Instead they go direct. Too tall for Granados. Taken there by Fleischer. Fleischer looking for space, carried it too close to the defenders, needed to play it through quicker. To the left-hand side. Lobbing it up. Interesting that FC Golden State in this half has tried to go with long balls a little more than they did in the first, perhaps trying to conserve some energy, already up by 2, somewhat looking forward to potentially playing in that championship game. They know that this one isn't decided, but if you've already got the advantage, why not take advantage of it and try to save your legs a little bit? Perhaps that's the idea, because the long balls don't necessarily seem like a good decision, given the fact that they're kind of going into the wind. As I said, it's going somewhat across the field, but right to left as well, so the wind doing them no favors. Dropped back and pounded over here to the near side. Campbell with a soft foot, able to bring it down. He's going to try to go for goal. Cortez had to be sharp on that one because he saw the player coming in, so he had to stay in position to cover it in case there was a flick. But he also had to watch the flight of the ball to make sure that it didn't get past him if it got through, which it did. Lamele tried to pop one through. Garcia was there, but the ball just a bit too much. But again, you have to admire the stamina and the force that FC Golden State have put into the pressure game. Already up by 2, they could just sit back, pack numbers in, but they are pressuring every ball as this one goes well wide. There's absolutely no room right now for Arlington Impact as the hands starting to go onto the hips. That's not necessarily a good sign if you're from Virginia. It's perhaps a little bit of frustration starting to creep in, and the body language not necessarily in a positive manner. Coming back into the game for Arlington is Roger Rojas Goodbold. Also back in is Robert Bynum. About to check in for FC Golden State is Josh Aravallo. Coming up the near sideline, little touch, but Lamele plays it out. He's trying to wrap his foot around it to keep it in, and it just fell underneath. Here's Rojas Goodbold. Campbell sends it back. They try the far side. It's Johnson played it over to the wing. Fleischer came back to get it. Sliding challenge, wins it. But again, not able to push it forward. Up the field from Hosley. Campbell looking for options. Just played it into the fender. Tries to pop one over there. Misread there. Laid back. And again, too many white kits in front. Corner kick. Going right into the middle of the goal from the backside. It's cleared away, and we'll do it again from the opposite direction. A good setup coming from Taylor. Got a good foot into it. The wind aided it a little bit, but it was a decent ball. Not quite on the back post, but towards the backside of the offensive flow. The defenders were initially able to deal with it for FC Golden State. Swinging towards the penalty spot. Now the shot. Oh! Crossbar and out. Hosley thought he had it. He thought he had the lead cut in half. Now they go short. Back into play. Chipping it in. Defender deals with it. Diving strike coming from Fleischer. And now cleared away. FC Golden State averting the danger, but only just. And Alomeli was in between two minds. He had to come back to help out, but he was in an offside position, so he couldn't quite over to the ball. FC Golden State, good hold-up play here, but this one cuts into the wind and slices away. Campbell scrambling back up the hill and puts it back into play. Fleischer just kind of blindly sends it up the wing. Campbell will put it in again. Lots of urgency here from Arlington Impact. They know they trail by 2. And they haven't even looked like scoring 1 until just moments ago. They hit the crossbar, perhaps the post. It was difficult to tell from my vantage point. The cameras are up high and I'm on the field. So you at home had a better view of it to see if it took that double touch or just the one, but any touch off the woodwork was not what Arlington was hoping for. They drop it back for Rojas. Good hold. Left footer. Right at the keeper. 24th minute of play, and it's still 2-0 in favor of FC Golden State. Hosley on the back a little bit, but no call. Taylor chips it over the initial defender. Damiani tried to do the same going forward. Now Bynum. Good defense, but then he fell down. Bynum trying to put that ball on a string. Just no real estate available. Trying to get a corner kick, and he will, but only barely. Thought about going short with it on the quick kick, and instead the defenders will come back as Taylor will take the kick. A sub each at the next opportunity. But right now Arlington focusing on this kick. Another good weighted ball. Cortez comes out with a punch. One-time volley back into the box. Spinning and shooting. Well blocked. And then it's set out. Oh, they could be on here. 4-on-2. They send it over to the far side. Cutting it up the middle. Over the sliding challenge. In comes Sanchez. Cuts it middle. Oh, the defender found it. Beautiful attacking play. Thwarted at the very last moment. Now another opportunity to the end line. Flag up. Goal kick. So this second half has really opened up, and we've seen some very nice football, soccer, whatever you want to call it. Acosta comes back into the game for Arlington Impact, and also checking in for FC Golden State is Andrew Flores. Rojas, good bold, and now Campbell. Numbers pushing up. Taylor from the touchline and in a few yards. Keeps it on that right foot. tried to pump the brakes, and that's going to lead to a counterattack. These are the dangerous moments for Arlington because there's so much speed up top for FC Golden State. Get a whistle from the far side. So that'll be a free kick for Arlington, just inside the half. They put it back into play quickly, so no sub on that opportunity. Campbell from the touchline. Pushes it up, trying to get around the defender. Sends one in, Cortez reads it, and in the end it's an easy grab for him. Into that wind again. It's getting a little bit stronger now. Supposed to have decent weather all day. We'll see if that holds true. As living in the Midwest myself, you know, the only place that perhaps has more pop-up weather is Florida. Campbell able to keep it, at least in the attacking third. Sends it up the line as Arlington trying to pump one into the box. And too much mustard on that one as it was well too high for even the tall Rojas Goodbold. Lopez will come back after he got a break, an extended break during the halftime. So Lamele's day is done. As Lopez, who has the second goal in this game, comes back in, looking for the third for his team, his second. Doesn't get the ball here on the near sideline. Pushing up is Taylor. Rojas Goodbold. A slide pass over to the far side. Rojas Goodbold again. Oh. What a touch around the defender. Now he takes a left-footed shot. What a strike! It's just wide as the goalkeeper, Cortez, stretched out as far as he could and got the fingertips to it. What a cracker of a shot that would have been if it had hit the twine. Impact trying to make a substitution as Gaten Rowe comes back into the game. Impact with the urgency, going shorter on it. It pops high up into the air. Cortez comes out, takes a swing. It comes back in front. No. Coming out with the foul. So Impact swinging at the goal. But they could not get it to go in. It was very close, rolling past the defenders. But in the end, the foul negated any chance they might have had. Diving at that one and knocking it out is Rojas Goodbold. Body taken out from Sanchez. He gets up a little sore. Knocked down by Hosley. He's had probably the best opportunity all game. Hit the woodwork, the crossbar. Seemed earmarked for the back of the goal and instead pounded out. But here's Fleischer pushing it up. Getting one across. Cortez read it well. He hasn't been called on to make numerous saves, but the ones that he has had to make have been quality. And even when he has not been overly tested, he has been solid on his reads, coming out, making good decisions, getting punches on the ball. Hosley all the way back for Johnson. Right-hand side, up the touchline. Fleischer cutting into the middle, asking for the ball. Not to be there yet. Now he gets it. Damiani, too tall for Campbell. Needed a 9-iron, and he took the 7. Cortez puts it into play. And now Rojas Goodbold. Again, the field gives way. Coming over here to the near sideline. Lopez. Oh, he would have been in. What a touch there. An important touch for Hosley. Yes, it goes out. Yes, you give up the throw-in. But if not, Lopez was in one-on-one with the keeper. Hodges gets it in, and again, Hosley sticks the foot in the way. Lopez skies higher than Johnson. Sanchez earns himself a corner. Third minute of play, closing in on the 34th. There will be a sub for FC Golden State the next time they can. Defender deals with that one as Kickbush was waiting if it got over the head. Popped back towards the far post. Wind carrying it though, too tall for Chavez. He takes it to the byline, trying to slice one back in front. Now off to the races. Coming over here to the near side. Nice ball, but the defender comes back to take it off the foot of Bynum. And now as I get a better look, that wasn't necessarily even a defender, as that was Hodges, who has taken up a spot here on the near wing as he tries to push up, get a goal of his own. Off the shoulder of Lopez, calls for a handball, go unheeded. Lopez taking it towards the end line, cuts back into the 18, takes a bit of a knock, back to the end line. Nobody there. It was a fantastic idea. But in the end, it didn't come to fruition. Sub coming in now for FC Golden State, as Robert Munoz will get some action. So Munoz is in. And Manny Chavez comes out. Some good work from him. Gets a lot of high fives over here on the bench. Campbell trying to see what's available. Not too much right now. He has to send it back towards the midfield circle. Taylor looking for options. Rojas Goodbold. And that's good for 3 points in the NFL, but nothing here. So Cortez with the goal kick. with his team up 2-0. Time ticking away for both teams. It can't come quickly enough for FC Golden State, and it's going too fast for Arlington Impact. Rojas Goodbold took a little bit of a spill and then falls down again. Popped up into the air with FC Golden State in possession, but only briefly. Bynum able to take control just outside the midfield circle. A cheeky little flick, but that's not the point or time that you need to be trying that if you're Arlington. Off of Campbell, so it'll be a Golden State throw. And interestingly enough, they come quickly. Lopez settles it down. On for Munoz. Munoz trying to get around Johnson, but couldn't be. Campbell, shouldered, wins a free kick. Looked like a 50-50 challenge, but the official from his vantage point saw a little more in it. Johnson puts it back into play. High up in the air goes the leg of Flores as he tries to get some on it. Rojas Goodbold sticks out with a karate kick, but he doesn't come away with possession. Now slipping one through to Sanchez. He's got eyes for goal. Rolls over the top of it. And then finally Hosley was able to get a piece. Hosley again. Rojas Goodbold. Now Campbell lets it run through. Plays it up. For Bynum. Bynum trying to hang on. And he's bailed out. Could have a free kick going in. Again, we want to thank you for watching this Turbo Sports Group production of the USYS 2016 National Championships. Two coastal teams. Flick towards goal. That would have been something special if that could have gone in, but just too much spin on it. Goes off the heel and up and over the goal fairly safely in the end. Still early in the morning out on the West Coast. So hopefully you've had your coffee, perhaps an energy drink, whatever you need on this beautiful Saturday morning. And are enjoying this match because it's been a good one. Very back and forth despite the scoreline. Arlington Impact have done a fantastic job of trying to put their stamp on this game. But it has been FC Golden State almost from the start. Lopez coming through defenders. Lopez again, touched around, gets the return feed on the left foot. What a strike and a better save. Kickbush keeps it out, diving to his left. Lopez again denied by Kickbush, but not a third time. He scores. Lopez may have put the nail in the coffin. Kickbush did everything possible to keep that one out. Scrambling, diving, kicking at it. But Lopez was not to be denied. And he gets his second of the game. 3-0 your score here in the 41st minute. So 2 goals for Anthony Lopez. One in stoppage time of the first half and one late here in the second. It may not have too much of an impact on this game in the end, as they were already up by 2, but that pretty much seals it. The Impact have played a solid game overall, but having not challenged Cortez too often throughout about 80 minutes, it seems difficult to believe that in the last 5 they're going to manage to get 3 goals. Stranger things have happened, but it's going to take something special out of the Impact here. They have to lob one upfield, and right now there's just a lot of white back in the defensive third. Clear knock. Housley wins it. Goes inside. Damiani too strong. In off the throw, chested down, comes here near side to Lopez. He's got 2 men on him, but he doesn't care. He has just been all over, cutting through the defenders like a hot knife through butter. They haven't stood a chance. Offside. The staff for FC Golden State a little bit upset with them. It's a close call, but the AR had it. I think most of the complaints were whether or not the player that was in an offside position was making a play on the ball, but they've been consistent throughout the game with that, and that's always good to see. Offside again, just in a step too quickly was Aravalo. Sent in, chested, and then hammered away by Nikogoshin. His goal would be the game winner if the scoreline stays as it is. So we're in the 44th minute. In towards the penalty spot. Cortez with the mean punch. Players from Arlington looking around, hoping for something. But it was a clean play by the goalkeeper to come out and claim it. Pounded upfield, and there's Lopez. He's just been everywhere here since coming back into the game. Campbell jumped at it. Damiani gets it. Two minutes of stoppage time will be added on. Rojas good bold. Looking for the return pass. Not quite there. And that's been the story of the day for Arlington. They've done well to get into attacking positions, but once there, they just haven't been able to find that final ball, whether it be from a shot or a pass that would have been necessary to really set something up. Chopped back in front, players became entangled. It was just outside the box, I do believe, but even then, didn't look like there was enough in it for a call, despite the protests of Arlington. Estrada coming up through the middle, looking for space. Hoyer cuts it down. Taking a spill is Hodges as he tried to take it back from Damiani. Hodges again. Back into play quickly. Fleischer taken down. Going to get a card again. All the cards have been handed out to FC Golden State today. It's been somewhat interesting that the team that's ahead would be the one that goes into the book. There it is, the whistle goes, the game is finished. FC Golden State will be playing for a national championship come tomorrow as they are victorious by the final score of 3-0. It all got started back in the 21st minute with Oscar Nikogoshian getting the goal to put them on top, which ends up being the game winner. A couple yellow cards sandwiched in between, but a stoppage time goal for Anthony Lopez. And then an 86th minute goal from Anthony Lopez gives him 2 for the game. And he will be very pleased as his team is heading off to the championship. Join us for that. That will be tomorrow morning. Check the USYS webpage for the full schedule and also find out who FC Golden State's opponent will be. But until the next time, for everybody here at Turbo Sports, I'm Todd Panula. For our great crew, we like to thank you once again for watching and enjoy the rest of your day.